Okay, everybody, as mayor, House meeting in order, pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Donna?
Martyr.
Here.
Parker, absent. Schneider.
Here.
Stoops. Wilson.
Here.
Sukasar.
Here.
Sukasarvy.
Yep.
Get a motion to excuse the absence of Mr. Parker.
I'll make that motion. Support.
Parker, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
SukasW.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Non-agenda items for the sidelines, Mr. Sulkowski.
Yeah, I'd like to give permission to do the Memorial Day Parade, May 30th. Start at 10 in front of the fire hall.
Forget it.
That's right.
I'm not sure
People
about
are
it,
never
but
home that weekend anyway.
Do I have to fill out some kind of paperwork for the city?
Sit down.
Donna, sit for something else?
Not for the city.
We just have, we do have to get a permit to, on the road.
Yeah, for
And
19, that's what I was
the chief-
thinking.
The police
That's-
chief used to do it,
Bart
but I
does
think
it,
Bart
I
can
think.
handle it for you.
Okay, because I know
Yeah,
police chief did.
yeah,
last
he
year.
did, but Bart handled it, he handled it last year and a couple when we were kind of absent for a police chief for a while there, so.
So he'll do it?
Yeah, we'll contact him.
Okay, thank you.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion to allow the Memorial Day Parade. Support.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson. Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukasw.
Yep.
Martyr.
Yes.
Parker, absent.
So is it like a 10 o'clock parade or like
Yes.
same as always?
Yep, same thing as always.
Thanks, Ted.
Welcome. Thank you.
Comments from city administration, Donna?
I have nothing.
Welcome back. David?
The band's in the park down by the river. It's coming along great. I just got a few more sponsors that are still coming in, waiting on that. My senior days, the attendance has been a little low, but that's because of the people out of state for the winter. They'll be back. A couple of them came back this last time. And I give you a letter to read through yourself about the bands. So, and that's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Adoption or amendment of the agenda?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the agenda as presented. Support.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukasw.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Parker, absent. Schneider.
Yes. Regular meeting minutes of April 5th. Anybody have any questions about those? That I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the regular meetings of April 5th, 2016. Support.
Wilson.
Yes.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukasw.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Parker, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Communications. We had none, right? Unfinished business. Fire department invoice from water cannon. Larry, you know anything about that?
Yeah, Justin, I talked to Justin today, and he said the power washer broke. Apparently the motor for pump went out, so they had to purchase a new power washer for $512.
So basically, it's a part to repair his power washer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so and he told me he was still covered, or I mean, the budget can, that, it wasn't budgeted, but, because it had to be replaced, but the budget was saying
Any other questions? That'll take a motion.
make a motion and we approve the invoice for $512.25 for water cannon.
Support.
Sukasar.
Yes.
Sukasw.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Parker, absent. Schneider.
Yes.
Stoops.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
And this other fire department bill is for basic river rescue training course, which they did a couple Sundays ago. It was $2,500, and I believe that Emmett is gonna pay for part of this also,
Yeah,
right?
it was $2,000.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 2,000. And then I think
2,000, and
Emmett's
yeah.
gonna pay a quarter of it or
Yeah,
something like
Justin's
that.
told me
That's
that
you
it's
guys.
going to be reimbursed $500, so then that will be $1,500.
And that was budgeted.
And, yeah, it was budgeted.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion?
Make a motion to pay Michigan Rescue Concepts $2,000.
Support.
Lucas W.,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Parker, absent Schneider,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Lucas R.
Yes.
Okay, charter change. Larry?
Yeah, I give you a lot of documentation there, but I was, hopefully it kind of give you the history and some of the letters that went back and forth between the lawyer and the city back over the years. This has been something that's been looked at for, I don't know, 10 years at least I know of, and we've never really followed through on it. And a charter was written in 1953, and some of the, in particular in this, section 13.6 is on the purchase and sale of property, and some of the language in there, and I did give you a copy of the charter that reflects that statute. And if you and look at it, it's where anything over $300 has to come back to council. And the one other issue is the lowest competent bidder. And the other issue is that anything over $25 has to have a purchase order. Well, $25 today is like petty cash. Some of this, that particular issue, we don't comply with it anyway, so, and we've talked about doing this for years, and specifically, I think back in maybe 2013 or 14 is when we were considering doing it, and we did contact our lawyer, got a cost estimate at that time of $2,500 to, I believe it was $3,500 estimated cost. And I also explained the functions you got to go through in order to have it on the ballot. Because anything on the charter has to be voted, any change in the charter has to be voted on by the people. And we've changed the charter twice since I've been on council in the last 20 years. And one is on the administrator where they had to live, and the other was on, we used to have, we had 3 people running for council, we had to have 6 people running. Well, we had to drag people off the street in order to get 6 people, it was almost impossible, so we changed it to 4. And even that's been a problem sometimes. This current year, we were able to, well, we've been able to do it every year, but it's been hard sometimes, even with 4. So, so that was changed, and the functions we really got to go through is we recommend the changes we make, and we send that to our lawyer. He reviews it. He prepares it in proper form on the language for the change in the charter itself, which then has to be approved by the governor. And then the voting language and how it appears on the ballot also has to be approved by the I think the Attorney General has to approve that, and so the wordage has to be approved. So it's a kind of a long function. When we were going to do it before, I think we approached him in May, and he said that he thought, even though there's time because it has to go through the governor and everything, he thought he could get it on the ballot. Well, this is April, and I think as long as we get it to him probably now or within a couple of weeks or maybe 4 weeks, he might make it. But I don't think that if we want to change it, I don't think we should wait too long. And so the changes that we talked about back then and the changes that I've recommended now is basically the same. And I made how the charter reads with the changes, though I left a memo tonight that you're looking at that after talking to the administrators, I talked to Donna, I talked to Bart, and I talked to Justin today. One of them, I recommend we change that a little differently. So the changes that then I'm recommending is that we change the $300 to $1,000, and we eliminate the lowest competitive bidder, because sometimes that can be a problem. And we're going to change that, or I recommend changing that to purchases shall be awarded to the bidder meeting specifications, and the city council by majority vote determine what is in the best interest of the city. And that language somewhat reflects what our lawyer, if you read those documents that we got from him back a few years ago, how that should be changed. And on change number 3, I'm recommending that be changed from all purchases and sales in excess of $25 shall be evidenced by a written contract or purchase order. That's how the charter states it now. And I'm recommending that be changed to all purchase and sales of major equipment and capital outlay shall be evidenced by a written contract or purchase order. That's basically how we do it now. And so talking to the administrators, they thought that would be satisfactory. Also in there, Liz and I worked back 10 years ago on a purchasing and the bidding and so on policy, and that was adopted back in 2006 in February. And that language also kind of reflects how we do it as far as actually do it anyway. So I think, and I know that, and one of the letters from our lawyer stated that when we had this bidding pack, we had him look at that. He said, even though that's in your bidding packages or in your bidding policy, he said the charter is what you still got to go by. So I think putting them both together now more or less kind of makes it so they're compatible. So, is there any questions? I'll try to answer them. But I think it's something that we looked at in the past and kind of not done anything on it. I think it's, even though I hate to spend $3,000 or $4,000, I think it's something that should be done. And if we go ahead with it, then I'd say we put that in our budget for July 1st, the next fiscal year.
So we need a motion to send it to the lawyer?
Yes, I need a lawyer. I got the language here if you want me.
Anybody have any questions?
Well, actually, I do. You know, looking at this charter that was written in '53, there's a lot of this stuff that is really outdated.
Yes.
And I know that we're kind of on a pinch timeline here if we want to get it on a November ballot, but there's just a lot of stuff in here that is just so outdated, and it concerns, talking about a justice of the peace, constables, the timeline for our budget to be submitted. Just, these are a few things off the top of my head, because I haven't combed through this thing thoroughly to look at it. I mean, because the language in here, to read it is kind of like reading the King James Bible. It's, trying to pick out verbiage that was written then as to it applies today. I mean, I'd like to see if we could get the advisory committee together and comb over some of it. I mean, if we're going to lay out this money, let's see if there's some other changes that we could make now.
Well,
Or-
I tried to locate what you got to go through to change the charter, to rewrite it. It's really involved, and I couldn't find it in my my files at home. It's it's much more involved. You'll probably take a year to do it. Normally you got to appoint a committee to look at it. They don't have to be on the council. It can be private citizens, and you appoint the committee, they review it, and I would say if you're going to do it, if you want to do it that way, then don't do this at all, which this should be done, by the way. Don't do it and then go through the other, but you better figure about a year to do it. So it's, and
So you're talking about rewriting the charter, right?
Yes, there's two ways, and if you read the documents that I got from the lawyer, you'll say there's two ways. One, how we've done it in the last couple times, and how.
That's basically amending it.
That's amendment. This can be done just by this alone. And or if you just take and you change by amendment different things, each one has to be voted on separately. Now, when I questioned him on this, since there's 3 items we're changing, is each one of those has to be voted on separately? No, because we're only changing one section. The other thing is a revision of the charter, and that's when you go item, line by line, word by word, and that will take you.
As opposed to, making omissions or corrections, like with our budget. I mean, we're just way out of the timeline with that because of the way that things come to us.
Yeah.
We can't get it by the timeline that's laid out in
Oh,
the
no.
charter.
No. We won't, if we do that, then we say we should appoint a committee should be appointed, and I think even the private citizens can get involved in that. And I tried to find what you had to go through, and I did have it, and it was from MML, I believe, and, but I couldn't find it at home, and I got a file that thick, but I couldn't find it, so.
Okay.
So I mean, the big sticking point is the fact that you're only changing one section of the charter.
Right.
Even though you're making 3 different changes.
Right, yeah, and so this can be voted on, one vote on just on this. Each one don't have to be voted separately, but, because I'm just changing section 13.6. That's it. And I agree with you, Kurt, 100%, but I don't think we can do it, we definitely can't do it for November. And I think, and it would take some knowledgeable and somebody qualified who understands charters and to change all that. Of course, it'd all have to be reviewed by the lawyer, which this would be, then I'm sure it would be no $3,000 or $4,000. It could be $15,000 or $20,000. I mean, I'm only guessing on that, by the way. I don't really know, but it definitely wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a small expenditure. This would be something that has to be looked at in the long term.
Any other questions? What's your pleasure?
Not that I don't disagree with you, I agree with you, but I don't think it's something we can just do quickly.
It's okay.
Okay, and you don't have to copy this, I'll give it to you, okay. I make a motion then to forward to the city attorney the proposed changes of section 13.6, purchase and sale of property, and make all changes necessary to place this issue on the ballot for the election being held November 8, 2016, at a cost not to exceed $4,000. You can have that.
Thank you.
Support.
Support.
Murder,
Yes.
Parker absent, Schneider,
Yes.
Stoops,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Sukasar,
Yes.
Sukasdubble. Did he say it?
Okay, and I can't do this tomorrow, but, because I'm going to be away, but Thursday I'll get with you and I'll prepare the proper documents and a cover letter to go to the lawyer. Okay?
Boy, I can't wait to really get into that charter. That sounds like so much fun.
Well, it's definitely something that should be done, and some of those things, we're not abiding by them, because it's like the $25, a purchase order for $25. So.
Larry just wants to go back to us getting $4 per meeting.
And I really hate to.
Not to exceed $50 in a year.
Yeah. Well, I know, I'm a money cruncher, I remember.
There's so many Michigan laws on the books that are, you can just swear it in public. Who gets arrested for that?
Okay, happy birthday, Robbie, first of all.
Happy birthday.
And in case you didn't notice the cake and the balloon and the flower. I just want to let everybody know that next weekend, the Lions will be out on the Four Corners collecting money to help the blind and the needy. And watch out for us, be careful, especially early in the morning. Not this weekend, next weekend.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
following me, yeah.
2 weeks. That's all I have. Kurt?
Yeah, just to reiterate, I think we really need to, look at this charter, and it's one of those where, how many copies we have of this thing, but go through and start highlighting some notes on stuff that really stands out. Well, I work with Larry and with Eric on redoing our master plan. I mean, I've seen 2 of them come around and be changed. The last one, thankfully, the state with their, or actually with Macomb County and their planning, helped us defer a lot of the costs, because it does get very expensive, but at the same time, it is just really antiquated. But I think we need to start looking at making some changes. It could be a long process. I mean, it took a long time to get our master plan in place, but I think we can do this.
I agree. Larry?
I agree with him. Okay. I have nothing further.
Robbie?
I have nothing, thanks.
Scott?
I think the school play is this week, so if anybody wants to go out for that, it's supposed to be a Little Women is the school play this week.
Mr. Zukas? Did you have anything?
No.
Motion to adjourn, please?
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
I wanted to recite the proclamation.